Hi, welcome back to Dow Twang. I'm Dave. We're going to have some fun today. We're just going to chill and we're going to solo over this simple progression in C. And we're using a lot of the skills that can be found in a playlist on the channel called Essential Soloing Skills. This is the third video out of a 3-lesson series. They're all in that playlist, and they're the only thing in there, except there's also a 5 or 6 minute loop of me just strumming those chords for you to practice over. So it's all in there. And watch this one today if this is your first time. Go ahead and check this one out. If you like that intro that you just saw and this kind of sound is something that you think you want to get into, just remember you definitely want to go back and look at all 3 of those where we really build up, the basic skills for everything that you just saw. So today I'm just going to show you kind of, I guess, my version of putting a solo together, right? Using those skills without backtracking over, all the stuff that we covered in the other 2, okay? So let's jump right in here. We're in C. You can just warm up on the chord, warming up our ear too, right? Okay, first thing I did there today was okay. We don't need to go note for note on all of this, but this first little part, I am going to really put it under the microscope. I started by doing just a single note line, a phrase like this. Okay. And now you might be thinking right away, well, what? Just playing that with one finger? That doesn't look very, sophisticated. What kind of skills is this guy teaching here? Well, I did that on purpose to illustrate just, how simple a line can be like that and really sound musical, right? And also, it is kind of set up position wise for how we're going to harmonize that. So the second time around, the first time it's just with any fingering that you want. The second time, and this is a beautiful thing about guitar. Let me get this adjusted here. Especially electric guitar and standard tuning is the way the thing's set up, the intervals between the strings and things is just perfect for this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to cover both of these highest 2 strings and do the same move. Okay. So now down here where I went, instead of sliding, I'm going to hammer that 2 fret span, but already have this note planted. Okay. Now use your ears along with your eyes. That's your first 2 notes. Okay. So leave this note, the G, down and hammer from 7 to 9 on the G string. Move that whole thing 2 doors down, and you're doing it over, an F chord rather than a G. So, work over different chords, but I think that's where it ends up in the progression. Don't worry about that so much right now. So you got. Okay, let's try that out. Looks like we're coming back around here. 2, 3, 4. doing a little bit of variations on that second part there. I'm doing a lot of A minor pentatonic blues scale stuff, right? You know, that sort of thing. And I'm really coming back to that home bass, that C. The second video in this series really gets into this stuff about using this pentatonic scale. So I'm not going to, rehash all that right now. But, that's the main idea for that second set of phrases. One thing I will mention, though, here's a couple things, just in the interest of style, and they're easy things, but they're easy to forget. We need to remind ourselves about these little things that are not difficult, but we're so busy worrying about all the other theory and stuff that we're doing all the time, we forget to do these simple musical things. And one of them is these pickups, like in a blues style. So if that's my target note, or nothing wrong with that as just a lick. But leading into that, you can do sort of. See how that comes into the downbeat? Like that's called a pickup when you have one or a few notes. Sometimes it's a triplet. That kind of leads into that lick. And that's just something that's, probably doesn't get taught as well as it should. It gets skipped over. When you look at it on tab, it just looks like more notes, right? You don't get that understanding that they're pickup notes, right? I'll show you how versatile that is. This is worth spending a minute on because you can just take simple moves and endlessly stylize them like this. Okay, and you really hang out on stuff like that. You wouldn't want to watch me do that for, 10 minutes straight or whatever. It'd be kind of a boring lesson. But even just a few seconds of me doing it, but I could totally see myself doing that for 5 minutes over a backing track. If it was any skill that I'm trying to learn and really get it in my body, I repeat the heck out of them, man. I mean, it's a good thing I have headphones because even just the sound of the electric guitar, not plugged in. So it's just like, man, how long have you been playing that? And it's like, you know what? I'm going to play it until I don't have to think about it at all anymore, right? So that's just a good little routine that you can do that's really creative, and you don't have to follow a lot of diagrams and stuff. The other thing was just this other simple style element, which is sometimes starting on the downbeat and sometimes waiting for the chord to hit on the beginning of the measure and then coming in. This is easier to demonstrate than to describe. So it can be anywhere in the progression, but I'll really exaggerate this at first. Now, you see the difference? The first group I'll leave that on, of phrases I did waited till after the downbeat. The second half there, I was pouncing on the downbeat. But now watch when I mix those two ideas together. I was in the back of my mind, I was worried just now that, like, am I really going to be able to demonstrate what I just said? Because it's abstract, right? I think that was pretty good. I think I did okay. Um, Hopefully, you could really get a grasp of that. How simple the concept is, but how tempting it is to just always be on the downbeat, da 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 da, right? And sometimes that sounds great, um, but it sounds great because it's bookend and mixed in with syncopations and different phrasings, right? People ask me all the time, man, can you talk about timing and phrasing? I know you're showing us the scales and stuff, and it's all good, and I've practiced all that, but I just feel like I'm you know, just not in the groove. And you'll get there. Little things like that, though, take the time to really stop what you're doing. And like I said, run that backing track through 3 or 4 times. Just, you know, paying attention to those certain elements. And when you come back in a couple days and just start playing your other stuff, it'll be there. It'll show up in your body, in your hand, and you won't be having to focus your attention on it all the time. Okay, that's a really good feeling. All right, let's do a little roundup, little takeaway, and then you get into that playlist and look around and just see what speaks to you and work on it in your own time in your own way, and use that jam track that's in there to practice it all with. Okay, so the things that were included all in all of this, to just kind of summarize it, was that we didn't talk about the triad shapes that much today, but in that intro today, I did kind of go right down the line, in one pass of that progression, like. Something like that. And so that's one of the skills that was definitely included here. Then the scales. So we've got the A minor pentatonic. We mentioned it's the same notes as the C major pentatonic. And we really break that down in the second video in there. Okay. But, then along with those pentatonics, we have the C major scale, the diatonic or 7-note scale. So we got pentatonic. Okay, and I'm going to show you in this when I play you out here in just a second. I'm going to do a lot of distinct alternating between the pentatonic and the diatonic, and really exaggerate that and demonstrate it. And then we did some of the double stop stuff today. Keep it pretty simple. I mean, these skills, those things about the phrasing, starting on the downbeat, letting the downbeat hit and then playing kind of in between, you'll figure out what I'm talking about. There's little pockets, there's different feels that you can play against the beat or between the beats and stuff. And just don't try to play so many notes as much as try to use these nuances to play a few notes and make it really musical. And I think you'll really enjoy it, and it's satisfying. So let me know how this goes. If you want, post a video of yourself jamming over this, over these chords, and put it in the comments, or a little audio clip or something. That's really cool when you all do that. I love that, and other twangers like it a lot too, I think. So let me know how it goes, and I'll talk to you next time. Where are we?